What up, my good people? Welcome to the Hip Hop Songwriting Workshop. My name is Mantra. I'm a hip hop artist based here in Melbourne, Victoria. I've been performing and releasing hip hop music for about the last 15 years. So I've been in the game for a minute. It's awesome to be here with you guys today. I'm going to take you through some of the steps and some of the tricks that I use to develop and create a song. I'm also hopefully going to give you some tips and tricks to use to kind of develop an original song idea and get some really cool ideas floating around and unlock your brain a little bit without, thinking too hard about it and without getting stuck. A trap that some people fall into when they're writing music and writing songs is trying to make everything perfect or trying to make everything good. Not everything we write is always going to be good. So what's most important is just writing and thinking about as much as possible, trying to get as many ideas down as possible, because then we've got heaps to work with and we're going to have a bunch of great ideas. So definitely don't try hard to make everything perfect. Don't think too hard about what you're doing throughout this process. Just let the ideas come. The more that you listen to yourself and the more that you trust yourself when you're coming up with ideas, the better your songs are going to be anyway, because you're going to be being true to yourself. And that is a really, really powerful thing to have as an artist. As long as you're being yourself, as long as you're being honest, that's going to make for some powerful music, especially when you're making hip hop. All right, so let's do it. Here we go. Okay, our first activity or our first exercise is one that I like to call feeling the beat, all right? The reason I call it feeling the beat is because in hip hop music, when we hear a piece of music that we like or we hear a beat that we like, we say, I'm feeling it. We say, I'm feeling that beat. So this exercise is literally about feeling the beat. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and play a hip hop instrumental or an instrumental piece of music that you really, really vibe with. And while that piece of music plays, I want you to do this. I want you to write down every single thing that comes to your mind when you listen to that beat. Everything that it makes you feel, everything that it makes you see, everything you picture when you hear this beat. Now, they don't have to be connected, these ideas. The ideas don't even have to make sense. I just want you to get down as many as possible, all right? They can just be one word, they can be little phrases, they don't have to be lyrics, they don't have to rhyme, they don't have to sound good, nothing. Just make sure you get as many ideas down as possible. So some cool kind of prompts that can help you if you get stuck in this, right? Is when you're listening to this piece of music, think about these things. Think about, first of all, what kind of emotions does it make you feel? Does it have a certain taste to it? Does it have a sharp texture? Is it soft? Does it feel like it's dark? Does it feel like it's cold? Those kinds of things can be really, really helpful. But also another thing to keep in mind is if you were making a music video for this piece of music, what would be in it? What would you put in it? What do you see? What do you picture in your mind when you're listening to this piece of music? All right? Now, all of this is gonna help us get right inside the mood of a piece of music. So the deeper and weirder you get, the better, all right? Don't just tell me that it feels happy or that it feels sad. They're fine, they're powerful emotions and you can use them as a starting point, but I want you to try and get deeper into those emotions and think about why does it make you feel that and what kind of happy does it make you feel? What kind of sad does it make you feel? All right? So get as deep and as weird as you can and write as many ideas as you can while this instrumental piece of music plays. Now, you might be able to find a cool hip hop instrumental on YouTube. There's plenty on YouTube. You might have some in your library already. If you're struggling to find one or you need some help, we have provided one of my hip hop instrumentals that you can download via the link on our website. So hit that up and it'll give you something to work with for the next few exercises. All right, good luck. All right, homies, let's move on to step number 2. And step number 2 is something I like to call finding the angle. Now, in the last exercise, you came up with a bunch of ideas around how this piece of music makes you feel and the mood of this piece of music, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do in this next exercise is we're gonna choose a song topic, all right? Don't spend too much time thinking about this. What you write about is completely up to you, but you can use some of those ideas in the last exercise to inspire you. And just keep in mind that whatever you choose to write about, the most effective song topics are gonna be the things that actually matter to you. So if there's something going on in the world around you, or something that you're concerned about, something that you're passionate about, something that you're excited about, these are the kinds of things that are gonna have the most impact. So like I say, don't think too hard about it. Just choose a topic that feels good to you and go with it. Once you've got that topic, I want you to do a whole new brainstorm on a new piece of paper and write down as many ideas as you can about that particular song topic. The reason we're gonna do that is because it's gonna help us find the angle of our song. And what I mean by that is there's a million different kinds of ways you can write a song, okay? So your song might be a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, or it might be just a collection of random thoughts. It might be told as like a journal entry, or it might be told from someone else's perspective. You might even choose to be playing a character in your song. So there's a million different ways that you can choose to do this. But basically what you're doing is you're gonna look at all of those ideas that you've come up with and your topic and how you want this song to feel. And you're gonna come up with, I guess, an interesting way to get that message across and get that feeling across. So choose your topic, brainstorm your topic, and then try and find your angle, the way that you're gonna try and tell this story of your song, okay? And that's step number 2. Good luck. All right, yes, we are up to step 3, and step 3 is probably my favorite because step 3 is when we actually start writing our song. So in step 3, we're gonna be writing a verse. Now, a verse is just a section of a song. There's usually about 2 or 3 verses in a song or in a rap song. And your average rap verse is about 16 lines or 16 bars of music long, all right? How long your verses are is completely up to you, and you're just gonna have to do it based on what feels right. But that's kind of the average length of a verse. You might find that you've written a verse that is shorter than that, but it feels like it's finished, and if it feels like it's finished, then it probably is. If you write, a verse that's 100 bars long, and you feel like there's more to say, then there's probably more to say. So just go with it. Bearing in mind that what's important is how exciting it is for the person listening to the song. So breaking the verses up with different sections can be really, really cool too. And that's what we'll get to in the next step. But when you're writing a verse, I want you to look at it like this. The way I see it is, if a song was like a book, which it kind of is, if a song was like a book, the verses are the pages of the book, all right? So the verses have all your details, all of your information, all of the story happens in the verses, okay? So this is where you're putting all your information. I want you, just like we've done in the previous exercises, I want you to write as much as possible here, because it's always better to have too much than too little. And if you end up with a whole lot of ideas, we can also always cut out any of the kind of loose bits or the bits that aren't really working later. We can do that later, but I want you to write as much as you can and then work back from there, okay? So I figured the best way to kind of demonstrate what a verse is and what a rap verse might sound like is to just do one. So I'm gonna bust you one of the rap verses that I wrote recently. I need to practice it anyway, so it'd be a good excuse to get some practice in. This is an example of what a rap verse sounds like. All right, people. I'm gonna bust you one of my new verses off my new record. This is a song called Relief. So have a listen to the kinds of lyrics that I'm using when I'm busting this verse, but also have a listen to what I'm doing with my timing and with my flow and with my voice. All right? Hey, staring death down through the babble of a lifetime, hoping to make amends before twilight. So many fences I could mend if I just fly right, but all I'm seeing from my being high above the skyline is bridges burning. I'm out to be a dad, got me looking back at all the support that I never had. Guess it ain't all bad, probably made me a better man, knowing it pushed me forward as far as it set me back. Although it's scary when I snap, I used to have a sweet disposition, now I'm in a temper trap. Loved ones averting their eyes, I see them hurting inside as they wonder why I'm still a slave to asserting my pride. It's a curse and a prize, strong enough to have me fighting with this will to survive. Callous outlook with a skin so thin on the outside, I could lift this ton of bricks, it's the garden beneath it'll make me cry, relief. I need to find some relief. Hey, so I hope you all were feeling that. That was one of my rap verses. Obviously, your rap verse is gonna sound completely different to that, so don't feel like you gotta make it sound like what I just did, but hopefully that gave you some ideas as far as what's possible and what you can do with a rap verse. Now, when we're rapping our verses and when we're rapping our song, it's important that our words are interacting with the beat and fitting inside the beat, just like mine were then. And if you want to know more about that kind of stuff, you can hit up M for Jones's workshop on this same channel. He's an amazing hip hop artist and he'll tell you all sorts of cool tricks around timing, rhyming, how to make your words land and how to perform your rap verses really, really well. But I don't want you to worry about that too much for the time being. Check that workshop out if you haven't already. But for the time being, I want you to focus on getting your point across. So when you're writing your verse, I want you to make your focus getting that message across, getting those emotions across to the audience, and really saying what you want to say, all right? So if you're finding things like the rhyming and the timing are getting in the way of you saying what you're trying to say, then push them to the side for a minute and just get the ideas out there. We can always work on that stuff and refine it later. The most important thing is saying what you want to say, all right? Good luck, go write a rap verse, and we'll move on to our final step. All right, we are at our fourth and final step for this hip hop songwriting workshop, which is writing a chorus, all right? So you've had a go at writing a verse and I hope that went well for you. Our next step is writing a chorus. So a chorus is another section of the song, but it's very, very different to the verses, okay? And if we're using that same analogy, the book analogy that we used in the last exercise, if a song is like a book and the verses are the pages in the book with all the information and all the details and telling the entire story, the verse is like the blurb on the back of the book. It's real short, it's real simple, and it tells you exactly what the story is about. And it's designed to get you excited about the story and make you want to read it, all right? A chorus is exactly the same. A chorus's job is to sum up the message of the song, tell you exactly what the song is about, and get you hooked in and get you excited about listening to the rest of the song. That's why we call the chorus the hook. It's because it's designed to hook you in. Some key things to think about when you're writing a chorus are it can be much more simple than your verses, all right? It doesn't need to tell the whole story because that's what the verses are doing. The chorus just needs to say that one thing. Tell us, what is this song about? What is the main message? You don't have to make it too obvious, but you do want to make it kind of simple. So you don't want to put too many words in there, and you don't want to make it too complicated. You just want to say something really, really simple. So keep it simple. Don't put too many words in there. Don't make it too complicated. You can try and make it a bit repetitive if you want to. Don't be afraid to use some repetition. Some choruses are just one or two words that are repeated a bunch of times, and sometimes that's the most effective chorus that there is. It's all about what you feel like your song needs and what the chorus of your song needs to do. So feel free to keep it simple. Feel free to use repetition. Feel free to repeat different parts of your chorus. And another thing that's really important to do when you're writing a chorus is think about how you're going to perform it and how you're going to make that performance different from how you perform the verses. So this is where we're starting to think about the way you're actually gonna perform your song and rap it or sing it out loud, okay? A song only becomes a song once you verbalize it, once you perform it. Doesn't matter if that's in your bedroom in front of nobody or if it's on stage in front of 1,000 people. That's when a song becomes a song. Not when you write it down, because that's just a piece of writing, but when you sing it or you rap it, that's when it becomes a song. So when you're writing your chorus, I want you to practice it out loud, and I want you to hear how it sounds and how it feels, and have a bit of a play with some different ways of performing it that could be maybe different to how you're gonna perform your verse, that'll make it stand out. Because that's what you essentially want your chorus to do. You want it to stand out and be different to the verses. So keep it simple, try to repeat some things, try to sum up what the song is about and what it should feel like, and then work on how you're gonna perform it and how you're gonna make it stand out from the verses, all right? Once you've got that chorus kind of, ready and together, try performing it with the verses and see how they sound together. You might find a few bits that aren't working or a few bits that feel a bit clunky, and you can refine and change them. Or it might be perfect, and if it's perfect, hats off to you. I've never written a perfect song in my life, so well done. But give it a go. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you end up with a rad song, and yeah, peace and bless.